Hello. I hope everyone is doing well and having a wonderful Sunday. This weather has been crazy, but we made it. Woo! That's all that really matters. But I have just really been going through it this past week, so I thank God that I made it to this week. And I was in my Bible, and I always ask God, what does He want me to see, and just open the Bible. And for some reason, he keeps bringing me to Psalms 18. I'm sorry if you can hear my son in the background. He is chilling. But he kept bringing me to Psalms 18. And I'm like, okay, I keep seeing the same message. So I feel like when you keep seeing the same message, that it's because you haven't learned the lesson, or he wants to show you something. He wants you to interpret it a different way. And it's funny because I posted this during the California wildfires and everything, and I feel like I got the message that it was going to rain, that eventually it was, it was going to stop. It was going to be all right. But it's crazy because today I got that this message was basically going to be the year. That 2025 is going to be equivalent to Psalms 18. And I read this again, like I said, multiple times. So the first time, I saw it as a good thing. I saw it as something good. Then when I kept reading, like Psalms 18:8 says, smoke rose from his nostrils, consuming fire came from his mouth, burning coals blazed out of it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that don't sound too good, like more wildfires or more things coming. But it's funny because what he told me was, it's all about the way you see it. It's all about the way you see it, just like with the tornadoes. Like it's all about the way you interpret something. Like, how when you're in something as a child, or you're in trouble, how I feel like the end of the world, and you grow up and you and your mom and them laughing about it, or you and your cousins laughing about it. That's just like how life is. And he told me that there's only 3 truths in life. You're conceived, you're born, and you're going to die. All of those are true. All of those, no one can say, oh, well, that's not that. You were born, you were conceived, and you were born, and you're gonna have a death date. How it's interpreted, or anything in between that, how your life went, that's all based on perception. And that's kind of like how we got to see life. And the more we count the things that we have, the blessings that we have, the joy that we have, is the type of year we're going to have. And the type of lives we're going to have eventually, or ultimately. And it's funny because this week I had a dream that I had saw Jesus being crucified, and I saw God on his left side, like here, but he was shining as bright as the sun. So he basically was the sun. He was shining down on Jesus, and I was on my knees. I was crying next to Mary. And then it was like a wall broke, and it was like a flood, like this massive flood. And it overtook me, and I wasn't drowning, but I wasn't swimming. Like, I was just like in the water. I was just floating, I guess, in the water. And some told me to turn over on my back. And then I was like surviving. I could see the sun. I could see, daylight. And it's crazy because I really be trying to hold back on a lot of my opinions about stuff, because I realized that, Jesus spoke the truth and didn't call nobody out. So there is a way to do both. There is a way to speak your truth without having to, seek out individuals. And I, of course, am trying to be more like Jesus, which we all should be trying to be like, if that's what we are committed to. So I'm like, okay, well, how do you say things without, but I asked God, okay, Lord, I'm going to ask him again, Lord, is it okay for me to say this? And I feel like it is. So I'm going to say what's in my heart. So when I was thinking about the drowning part, I thought about Whitney Houston and Naya Rivera. And I guess because Angie Stone's death and the way she died and everything, it's just so many black and brown women that die in the industry. And we know they didn't get, their just due. And it hurts differently, especially when they die tragically. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't die, with a thriving legacy, something to have behind them, and peaceful home environment or nothing like that. But especially when it's tragic, it hits you differently. And just a lot of things, and I was thinking about how it took me back to what's going on now. Well, how it takes me to what's going on now with the Zoe Saldana situation. I see so many different TikToks of, I'm not the Zoe Saldana black, but I'm this type of Latina, whatever type of black Latina. And it's just like, it's happening all over again. And I was saying one time, because I low-key be thinking I'm a comedian, but I'm like, I really wish that the black community would have treated Whitney like the white community treated Britney. And I'm not saying that to be funny or to call out Britney Spears, because I love Britney Spears. I'm glad Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan and certain, women that we love turn their life around for the better. That's what we all aspire to do. Nobody should be ashamed or have to go through none of that because of their past. But it's just like with black women, it's like they just get thrown away. Like if we make certain mistakes, it's just like, oh, if you show a sign of weakness, it's like less than human. And like they want to say, oh no, black men have it, but I don't really see it that way these days, because it's a lot of black men that can say their truths, that can admit their truths, and they're accepted and praised still in the black community. Whereas a woman is so hard to do that, because now you're criticized because you've exposed this person for beating on you, or this person for raping you, or this person for taking your money. And it just be a lie. And I was just thinking about drowning. And it's funny because the Bible says that a quarrelsome wife or quarrelsome woman is like a leaky roof to her home. And I'm just thinking about drowning. And I was thinking about myself. I'm putting myself in here and give my own human testimony of just like how social media is a portal. Shout out to Bishop Bronner, because he said that. And I've been going through that for quite some time, where it's like just certain social media addiction, especially because I'm celibate. So I just think, yeah, you be on there looking. And sometimes my mind, it goes places that the actual me, it wouldn't even go, and it's funny because like, I really just been on a journey of self-discovery, and I seen something that made me angry. And it's funny because anger really does motivate me. But I feel like people that try to make you angry, even if they know that, those are like liabilities in your life. Like, I don't want people around that go tit for tat or are spiteful. But I do understand that anger has power. But anger is a secondary emotion of sadness. So it's like you're really supposed to turn that pain into passion, which is why I'm here. But in that, I was just really talking to God about just like myself and like why I feel the way I have in the past towards certain women. And when I really narrowed it down, it was to men. And I'm saying this prophetically because there is a lot of women that are in these, I'm going to say pimp situations. And I like pimps. The flesh in me, the flesh person, the worldly part of me understands gangsters, understands pimps, understands these things. I actually respect them a lot more than I do some of these pastors that be on the same type of time. But it's funny because when you level up in life, you realize that a pimp is not the level, like that's not what you want as a godly woman. You know what I'm saying? That's what a hoe wants. But a godly woman, you want your kingdom spouse. You want your king. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like you're a queen, you want a king. You don't want a pimp. And when I really just break down like the culture of today, we live in such a pimp and hoes like culture where it's just, it's really, in my opinion, it messes up femininity and masculinity. It really does emasculate men to the point where they don't even realize it, because it's like you have put yourself in the position of femininity. You're no longer a hunter. The only thing you hunt is more hunters, you know? And when I was really just thinking about like just men, like why I have not gotten along with certain men, it's because I could see a lot of the bull, and I could see how men will put women against each other. And it's like sometimes like, and I've had that where it's like I've been with somebody, and because of my own insecurity within the relationship, within how they made me feel, and within myself, if they had attractions or were doing something inappropriate, or even if they wasn't, even if I just could sense, oh, they're attracted to this person, I would treat that woman differently than I would have before. If she would have never seen my man or never talked to me, I probably would have just been cool. And I realized that that's a spirit of jealousy. And I feel like that's the same thing that go on with a lot of this with Zoe Saldana. And I said this with Stacey Dash, and I just want to give them some love. I really do, because I understand, like, I'm not Afro-Latino. I'm black. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I understand when it's like you can't win for losing. You know, it's just the same way as being a black child that was privileged enough to go to a white school or get a certain education, and then you go to your cousins that, you know, they was in a underprivileged school system, and now you white, and now you this. But then when you at the white school system, you're too conscious to be just, you know what I'm saying, just hanging out with number white folks. Like you know, it's like you're never enough for any. You're not. When she was black, she not black. Yeah, your last name's Saldana. You played Colombiana. But she was black when she was playing Bernie Mac's daughter. Stacey Dash was the beautiful black woman of Clueless. Like, she had no problem being with a black dude. They had no problem having black children on TV or black parents. I just don't understand. It's like, do you want more numbers on your side or don't you? And then it's also like, it really kind of ties in with the whole Fat Joe and all of that thing, because it's like, y'all want to say, well, we want to say black people invented hip hop, which I agree. I'm like, well, damn, like all of a sudden now after the 50th year anniversary, now we changing the shit. Now I'm like, black people can't have nothing. And it's like, it's frustrating. But I get it too, because if you gonna tell them they not black, then they ain't gonna say, well, black people started if they was a part of it. You got to make your mind up, and you got to know yourself, even if somebody else don't. I know that slaves was dropped off in America from here to South America. We all black. We're all descendants of African slaves. What are you talking about? Like, you don't, like, unless you're tracing the bloodline back where you were just, you know, they might have been with conquistadors or one of the masters or something, sailors or pirates. I don't know. I just don't know what we get out of that a lot of times. And I'm sorry for going off course here. But anyway, back to the quarrelsome part of it. In my journey of self-discovery and just speaking with God about it, and it's like, I really had to ask myself, because I had been going back and forth. And it's funny when I be watching Pop the Balloon, because I be talking a lot of crap, but I'm like, we really don't know what you would do until you in that position. About how people be so indecisive about their own lives, especially the women. It's like about kids and marriage, and you know, it's just funny. And I was just like really talking to God, and it's like, I really don't want to get married. Like, because of like, I like myself, you know, like the more you like yourself, the more you don't want to change yourself for other people. And I just feel like with the pimp game, with the toxic masculinity, it's like comparing. And it says in the Bible, only fools compare themselves. Only fools compare themselves. So it's like, it's a foolish game to be in competition with other women to get a man, or to like, and it's so gross to me now, because it's like daughter against mother and aunties, and it's like 50, you're 30 and you're competing with the 50-year-olds, and then the 21-year-old is saying you're basically dead. You're washed up because you were born before them. Like, none of this makes sense to me of like why everybody got to be like that. Especially when, and like, I've been in positions where it's like, I'm just there. But because someone is attracted to you, you are the devil. Like, somehow you are a demon for just being there, just standing there. They could sexually assault you, but somehow you're the bad guy. Somehow you're the vixen. You're the bitch that's putting it on them. And I'm just saying, it be the women that be like keeping this stuff going. And it's crazy. It's like, free yourself. Free yourself. And I feel like that's what God did for me this week, Jesus. Ugh. And I just wanted to say that. Like, I respect it all. I respect if you wanna share your man, if you want to be with a man with 9 other wives and at least they all know about each other and not moving in secrecy and doing all this crazy stuff, hey, more power. God bless you. God bless you. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And I just really feel like as a temple, as the church, as God says that we are, it's like I don't want to sacrifice my heavenly place for worldly time and people. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, if you, and another thing, I'm going to say this. The Bible says that a man that findeth a wife finds a good thing. It don't say a woman that findeth a husband. Please stop getting on one knee. Please stop asking these men to marry you. Please stop fighting over men. Oh my gosh. I was in Miami and this dude, looking dusty, excuse my language, Lord, but I just got to paint the picture of what it was. He had asked me, he forgot his ID. He asked me if I could get him some beer or whatever at the store or whatever. Mind you, he asking me for a favor. He had a girl in the car or whatever. She gonna hop out the car just, why is you talking to a bitch? Excuse me? I'm sorry. I thought this was, first of all, that is scary. And that is sad. That is sad. It's sad. Especially if you've seen the picture. That is sad. The fact that a man has to address why he needs to talk to someone of the female race or species other than you. You really need to grow up. You really need to get some self-esteem about yourself. If you feel some type of way about the guy you're dating, seeing, talking to, or married to, just talking to other women. I'm going to say that now because some of y'all are really just preaching nonsense, and you're really making just regular women seem like single women like they're the devil. I can't ask you no questions. I can't speak to you. Are you okay? Are you in a battered relationship? Are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. Okay? What the heck? Like, I don't be understanding, like, these rules that y'all have where it's like, excuse me, I am God's child. I am an adult. Okay? That is not disrespectful. And we really need to come back to understanding, like Carter G. Woodson, shout outs to him, the person that, actually created Black History Week, which came Black History Month, which I'll rarely ever talk about in Black History Month. Carter G. Woodson said, if you train a man how to think, you don't have to worry about his actions. And it's like, it's still slave moves. And it's like, you were just doing it to our own. And not to just be going on Black people. But anyway, but I just wanted to say, that Psalms 18 is going to be the equivalent to 2025. So you should definitely read Psalms 18. I'm not going to do the work for you. Got to do my own work. Secondly, I want to say that a quarrelsome woman is like a leaky roof to her home. So we should have more understanding for other women and other races. really ask God, you know, is this a spirit of jealousy? Is this a spirit of envy that is on my heart right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, really ask yourself, like, did this woman do anything to me for me to not like them, for me to diss them or speak down on them, you know? Or is a man trying to get me to feel that way? You know, are you around liabilities? And by liabilities, I mean people that don't have respect for themselves or for other people, that treat other people, especially when men treat women like a come up. If a man says that he is a pimp, believe him. He does not value you over his money. What else I want to say? Oh yeah, I don't want any more children. I have 2. Sorry, y'all don't know that about me, but I'm just speaking my truth. I realize that, you know, I am sacrificing that for the rest of y'all. So you're welcome. I don't want your man, okay? I don't want a husband. I don't want any more children. I love my children. But yeah, you know, I like doing a lot of other things. I really do. And yeah, you know, like in your single season, I am really embracing that and realizing that it really is a time of self-discovery. Shout out to Bishop Bronner. Yeah, I don't want to embarrass him with these words, but yeah, I do. Yeah, I love Bishop Bronner. And yeah, I will be bringing y'all more of these things, and I will be doing it how I feel because I love myself. And you know, if you want a man, I get it. You know, you gotta, you know, you want to put on the makeup and the earrings, and if you're just doing it for yourself, I get it. You know, but if you really like yourself, you really are okay with yourself, you really are just embracing who you are. Don't limit yourself because of this or that, or I may not never find this. So the Bible says, "A man that findeth a wife finds a good thing." It is not your job to find a husband. It is your job to be. Like Cynthia Erivo said. Shout out to her as well. But yeah, I just really feel like we could get along a lot more if we decenter men and we find ourselves, ladies. We could really uplift each other instead of trying to compare ourselves on who's a better mother and who's not loose and, you know, who's in the house. We could all learn from each other. We could all pull off each other's strengths. You know, we could all encourage each other and, you know, speak more life into each other. Like, this is our time. This is our time. All right. Well, that is it. You have a great day.